The reality is, you're losing leads right now. Someone fills out a form on your website, you're so busy with current jobs that by the time you call them back, they're already with your competitors. What if every single lead that hit your website got a phone call back in 10 seconds? Not from you, but from an AI agent that sounds like a real person. It qualifies them, checks your schedule, and books the appointment all before they even put their phone down. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built this using Vapi and n8n, and I'll show you the settings most people miss that make the difference between an agent that sounds human and one that loses you leads. But first, let's hop into a live demo and show you this thing in action. How this demo is going to work is we're going to fill out a submission form on this landing page that we've created. Once we fill this out and click request callback, we're going to get a phone call from our AI agent within 10 seconds of us pressing that button. Then we're going to be on the phone answering the questions, and we're going to be flipping through some tools. So we're going to be flipping through our CRM, our Google Calendar, show you this thing working live, checking our calendar and all the tool calls that it has. And then once that's done, we're going to show you how to set this up in Vapi and then go through the n8n executions to help you be able to build this live today. Let's go ahead, send this off, and wait for the call to come in. Call came in.
Hey, Mike Thompson, this is Sarah, an AI agent calling from Cool Air HVAC Solutions. Looks like you filled out a form on our website about AC repair. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, perfect. I have a few quick questions to get a technician out to you. Can you provide the address where you need the service?
Yeah, 1201 North Main Street in Naperville.
Got it. What type of AC system do you have?
I have a window unit.
Okay, can you describe what's going on with it?
Yeah, it's not working. There's no cold air blowing out, and it's 95 degrees outside. I'm dying here.
Got it. That sounds urgent. How long has this been going on?
It started today.
Okay. Have you reached out to any other companies about this?
No, I haven't. You guys are the first one.
Okay. Do you have a budget in mind? If not, the technician can give you an estimate on site.
Honestly, whatever it costs to get it fixed.
Got it. When would work best for a technician to come out?
Can we do tomorrow morning at 8:45 a.m.?
Let me check that time slot for you. Unfortunately, that time isn't available. The closest opening is tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Would that work for you?
Can we do 7 a.m.?
Let me check that time slot for you. Perfect. Let me get that booked for you right now. Just saving your information real quick. You're all set. We have you scheduled for Monday, February 16th at 7 in the morning. You'll receive a confirmation email shortly. Thanks for choosing Cool Air HVAC Solutions. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too.
Goodbye.
So there we have it. We just saw our AI agent give us a call back really quickly. It qualified us. Now what's happening on the back end is you're going to see this information get filled out here soon. It's taking the transcript of the call, filling it out. You just saw it happen right here. So now we got the transcript of the call summary. The status is now booked. We got a qualification score based on the questions that it was asking us. And then also if we go to our email here, we see that we got a recap email of our call, what to expect, our appointment, and then the callback number for us to be able to call that agent back if we needed to. We also got another email, and this one's for the owner to show us that a lead came in with a lead qualification score, the details of the lead, and the call summary of what kind of job was booked. You guys saw it live, check our calendar, see a time that was unavailable, and then reroute us to a time, the most recent time that was available next. And then also being able to check if a different time was available. It checked it again, booked the time there for us, logged our details, and then also logged it into our appointments that we have now coming up, and then also gave us a call log for that entire call. If you're looking for something like this built for your business, or you're looking for something a little bit more custom, that's exactly what we do here at Deep Rooted AI. We build custom solutions tailored to your workflow to help improve the efficiency of your employees. Use the link in my description to visit my website and book a discovery call today. Wanted to give you a quick architectural overview of what's happening before, during, and after all the calls that we're making. It always starts with a form being submitted through our website, which is then captured by an n8n webhook. We standardize the phone number to make sure that it has the proper format in order for Vapi to call the phone number. We log it into our Google Sheet, and then we actually have an HTTP request to request Vapi to make an outbound call, which then calls our phone. During that call, while we're on the phone with our agent, Vapi is sending everything to one server URL, and it then receives all the requests and decides whether it's the end of the call by using a switch node. So if it's a tool request, we are then using an extract tool call node and calling the specific tool. So check availability, save the lead, book the appointment, these all get formatted into a proper Vapi response so that our agent can answer back to us, which is the respond to webhook node. Once the call is ended, we get an end of the call report, which updates the Google Sheets, emails both the business owner and the lead for confirmation. So you'll see quickly of what blocking and non-blocking means. Blocking means that we're just actually waiting for the tool to be completed in Vapi. So when it gives us a cue that it's calling that specific tool, we're just waiting on that confirmation to be sent back. And then the non-blocking is that once the call is over, Vapi's not waiting for anything. We're just completing the entire workflow. I just wanted to put a distinction of that because you'll see that there's two different branches of the workflow. This is everything that's happening while we're on the phone with Vapi, and then this is everything that happens while the phone call is finished. In my last video, you guys saw that I used separate webhook URLs to call all the tools. That way works as well, but this way is much cleaner. The latency is better, and it's just easier to maintain. Now that we have a good idea on how this agent works from beginning to end, let's hop into Vapi and actually configure our voice agent. If you've never used Vapi before, the first thing you're gonna have to do is go to their main page, click the sign up button, create an account, and then you'll have access to your dashboard. Once you guys have created an account and you're in your Vapi dashboard, you'll see something that looks like this. You'll wanna go ahead, click on assistants. Once you're in the assistants page, create an assistant, name your assistant that you're creating, use a blank template. I mean, there's templates for quick start, but for this example, use a blank template, click on create assistant, and then you'll be brought to a page that kind of looks like this. Now that you've created your assistant, it's actually time to configure it. And we always start by choosing the model and creating the system prompt. So the model that we're going to be going with is OpenAI's GPT 5.2 mini. For the first message mode, which is essentially who speaks first, we'll always choose the assistant to speak first. So as soon as our lead answers the phone, we begin the conversation. The first message is the one that you heard in the demo, which is, hey, blank, this is Sarah, an AI agent. I always want to, and I recommend to always disclose that you're talking to an AI agent. People value transparency over efficiency. Trust me, you don't want people to be confused and think they're actually talking to a real person. If they find out, they will get upset. Anyways, an AI agent calling from Cool Air HVAC Solutions. Looks like you filled out a form on our website about blank service. Is that right? So you guys get the gist. Then we're going to get into the most important part of any voice agent, any AI agent, which is the system prompt. This is how the agent is trained and the rule book that it follows. Without this, I don't know what would happen. I do know what would happen, but we're not going to talk about it. Anyways, we give it an identity, we give it a style, prospect information, conversation flow, so how the entire conversation is structured with an opening, qualification questions, scheduling, closing, and then we give it some behavior rules on some things to never do, on what to not ask, and certain things like that. Don't worry about copying this entire thing. You guys will be able to have access to the entire prompt that I use for this video in the resource document below. Moving on down, the last thing we got to do while configuring our model and our prompt is setting the max tokens. The lower that you go with this, the more your agent will kind of cut off. So I've tested a bunch of this, but I would set it to 250. That's kind of the default, which is great. I went to 100 and I noticed that my agent tried to talk way too fast and get way too many words in. Eventually it's just going to cut off and it's going to sound really awkward. 250 is great. As far as the temperature, just don't touch it. Temperature just talks about the randomness of the output. So if you set it to the lowest, it's literally going to stick to the script or stick to the prompt as close as it can, literally reading off it. If you move it up, it's just going to be a little bit more random. Just leave it as it is. Don't really touch it. You're going to be just fine. Moving on to the voice configuration, we went with DeepGram. DeepGram handles speech to text and text to speech under 300 milliseconds of latency, which is huge. You can go with 11 labs, but the payoff of latency is not really worth it, even though it sounds really, really good. DeepGram has a voice model. I chose Asteria for this. It sounds good. You guys heard it in the demo. Just know that if you choose to go with an 11 labs voice, the latency is going to increase. So that kind of awkwardness during the call is going to be a little bit more present. Just wanted to shoot that out there. Make sure you guys test the voices here to your liking. Just choose one that sounds real. Choose one that sounds comforting. I think comfort on the phone is super, super important. And I mostly get that from listening to a female voice. Specifically for a qualification call, DeepGram really hits the sweet spot for me. Okay, so I've scrolled down to the advanced settings section and opened up the start speaking plan. Most tutorials will skip this, but this is arguably the most important part of any voice agent build. Here's the thing. You can build an AI voice agent that instantly calls back your leads, but if there's a 2-second pause after every single sentence, your lead hangs up. You've spent money on the call and you lose the customer anyway. I have the smart endpoint configured to Vapi, which I highly recommend you do as well, but if we open this up and turn it to off, these are the important settings. On punctuation sounds, if you turn this up to 1.5 seconds, which I believe is the default, you just think of it like this. After every single sentence, the voice agent is going to wait 1.5 seconds to continue speaking. If you multiply that by a 3-minute call and every single response, that's about 15 to 20 seconds of complete dead air in the call, which is exactly why every time you talk to an AI voice agent, it sounds fake. On punctuation seconds, on no punctuation conversation seconds, on number seconds. This all adds empty dead space to the call, which is also known as latency. Two ways of going about this is lowering all of these, or simply Vapi has a really good smart endpointing system. You can do Vapi or LiveKit. Just know LiveKit is only available in English. So if you select Vapi, this will be configured for you. And like you heard in the demo call, the latency is very good and the dead space between sentences is super limited. Now just to configure the server URL to make sure that every time we request a tool in n8n, that Vapi can send that request properly. Here in the messaging section, all the way at the bottom of the advanced settings, we're going to put the webhook production URL of the second workflow that you guys will see here in a second, but this is where you're going to paste it. I'll go back when we're configuring the workflow and show you guys this again, but I just wanted to show you this. And then this is another important part, the server messages. So in this section, you're going to have a lot of these checked off. While we're building this out, you want to make sure that the two messages that we send are the end of call report and tool calls. If other messages are present here, you're going to see that there's multiple executions happening in n8n when this workflow is live, because it's querying the call every 30 milliseconds to see if some type of feedback has come out. But we're only looking for two types of feedback, which is a tool call or a end report. So that way we limit this execution count to about 6 instead of like 40. I found this out the hard way when I was testing. I was like, why are there so many executions coming through? And this is ultimately the reason why. So just make sure that the server messages are end of call report and tool calls. This is also where I talked about in the Excalibur, we're using one server URL, not multiple. All the Vapi information is going to one n8n webhook and the information disperses from there. We're nearing the end of setting up our voice agent here in Vapi. A couple of things left to do is actually assign some tools to this agent. And then before we do that, we have to hop into predefined functions here and enable the end call function. This will just allow the assistant to end the call from its side. Now that we enabled that, we can hop into tools. You'll notice that we have 3 tools set up: save lead, book appointment, and check availability. All we need to do here is go to the left side and select tools, and I'll show you how to set one of these up. The rest of them, you can just refer to the resource document I've provided in the link in the description. It'll show you step by step how to set all these up with all the parameters, tool descriptions, and things like that. Setting up these tools is super simple. You'll just go up here, press on create tool, click on custom tool, and then you'll get to a configuration page that looks like this. You'll just have to give it a tool name. So for this example, we gave check availability. The description is super important. This just tells Vapi which tool to call based on the conversation that we're having. Remember, it's going down a flow, so it kind of knows which tools to call in a specific order. We then just need to give it some parameters. So for the check availability, we're just giving it a date and time to query in n8n. And then for the server settings, in the previous video, you guys saw me fill this out. We're not doing this. We're just doing it one server URL in the actual assistant configuration, and we're all good to go. And then just make sure that when you save this tool, you go back into assistants, scroll down to the bottom here where it said tools, and then you'll be able to click a drop down menu and select one of the tools there. And then just going back to the tools really quick, we have save lead and book appointment. A couple of these have a lot more parameters, but again, tool name, description, and then give it the parameters, and all the tools will be set up. And then just make sure to go connect it to your agent. Okay, now that we've configured our Vapi voice agent, let's hop into n8n, look at some of the executions from the demo that we performed earlier, and show you how the data flows from the beginning to the end of this workflow, and how the combination of Vapi and n8n make voice agents so powerful. If you're ever wondering how a guy like me who knew nothing about automation 6 months ago is able to build voice agents like this and help businesses, join my friend Nate's school community, AI Automation Society Plus. You'll join over 3,500 members actively building businesses with n8n. You'll get access to a ton of courses, going from n8n masterclasses to one-person AI automation agency courses, to even learn how to start building your brand on YouTube. Use the link in my description, and I hope to see you guys in there soon. Here we are in our n8n workspace, and these are the 2 workflows that we're using to help assist our Vapi voice agent. We have our first workflow, which actually captures the lead information from the submission form on the website, formats their phone number to a desirable input for Vapi, logs that lead, and then sends a post request to Vapi to actually make the call to the lead. The second workflow is what's happening during and after the call. During the call, we're going to get 2 messages, either a tool call or a end of call report. If we get a tool call message, we're going to send that up to the extract tool call code node, which is pulling out this exact tool that's being called. We then route that information based on which tool was called. So if we check availability, we'll check our Google Calendar for any available dates. We'll format a Vapi response and then send a response back to Vapi. If it goes to the book appointment function, we'll book the appointment in our Google Calendar, log that appointment and update our CRM, format another Vapi response and send it back to our webhook. And then finally, we calculate the lead score and update our lead sheet to show that if the lead is qualified or unqualified. And once that entire process is done, we then end the call, which we get an end of call report. We extract the report data, log the entire call, update the lead post call, meaning we provided the transcript, a call summary, and then we sent 2 emails out, one to the owner and one to the lead confirming their appointment. Now that we have a good idea of how the system works, we're going to hop into the 6 executions that occurred during the demo, go through them node by node. You'll see kind of how this entire thing is set up and how you can build it for yourself today. If at any point you get lost, please pull up the resource document right next to you using the link in my description and follow along with me. It'll make things much easier for yourself. And if you ever have any questions, comment down below and I won't hesitate to answer. Hopping into our first execution, which is capturing the lead information, formatting a number to make it a desirable input for Vapi, logging the lead, and then actually sending a post request to Vapi to make that call to the lead. So we'll get our form submission in here. Our webhook will capture all the information. We're only looking for these specific fields, which is name, phone, email, and the service. We then use a code node to actually format the phone number because we don't know how the lead's going to put in their phone number. There's multiple ways of doing it. Like for example, we just put in a basic phone number like this. People could add the dashes or whatever, but we need the phone number to be one line with a +1 in front of the phone number. So we use this code node to do that. Once that's done, we're going to use an append row and sheet node for Google Sheets and then add this lead into our CRM. So we'll map it by name, phone, email, service needed, status will be hard coded to calling, and then the timestamp, which will be the current time. One thing for the phone number, just make sure to add hard code a apostrophe in front of the phone number so that it reads it as a string and not a number, because if it's a number, that +1 will get deleted once it gets input into Google Sheets, which is a bad thing because we are going to map the rest of the data in the rest of the workflow to the phone number. So that needs to be the same every time. Once we update our Google Sheet, we are then going to use an HTTP request node to send a post request to Vapi to actually make the phone call. So we'll need to use this URL. Authentication will be a generic credential type. You'll type in a header auth, and then you have to connect your Vapi API using a header auth. So if you don't know how to do that, I'll leave a link in the description, a quick video to show you how to do that. We will then be sending a body request in JSON format. So once I open this up, you guys will see that this will be in the resource document as well. You just copy and paste this in. The only thing that you need to change is the assistant ID and phone number ID, which you get from going to Vapi. If you go to Sarah up here, you can click under her. This is the assistant ID. And then if you go to phone numbers over here, you can select the phone number that we have. And then this is the call ID up here. You just copy that and then put it into your n8n post request right here. Once that's all configured, that is the entire first execution. Now we're getting a call. And once we answer it, that's when this workflow begins. So let's hop into the second execution. In the second execution, Vapi asked us if we wanted to book an appointment. We gave it a specific time. So it checked the calendar to see if that time was available. It sent in a request that looked like this, which is a lot of stuff going on here. We don't really care too much about what's going on. We're just looking for the body of the message and that it is tool calls. So once we know that it's tool calls, we'll go to a switch node that we set up with 2 rules, pulling in the json.body.message type, and we are matching it whether it's tool calls or whether it's end of call report. So we send it on that path depending on which request was sent in. So this one was a tool call. So we use a code node to extract the actual function from the tool, which was check availability in this case. We then sent it to another switch node where we're routing based on the 3 tools. So we have 3 options: check availability, book appointment, save lead. We renamed all these outputs as well to the following names just to make sure all the data is flowing correctly. We then actually check the availability of our calendar. So Vapi provides us with a date and time that we've queried. And if this information comes out populated, that means that there is an event there. So we can't book one there. So this is kind of how this is set up. We're getting many events from our calendar. We have a limit of 10. These are the JSON expressions that we're putting in. Again, don't worry. You don't have to copy and paste them from this video. Just look at the resource document. Everything is in there. And then scrolling down, there's nothing else. So we have this filled out, meaning that there is a event on that time. So it's not going to be available, which we then format a Vapi response using another code node. It gives us back the tool call ID and the result, which is that time slot is not available. Please suggest another time, which then gets sent to Vapi, and Vapi responded to us saying, hey, that time wasn't available. Our next earliest time slot is. Once we requested another time, it then checked the calendar once again, which is what happens in our third execution. We open this up, it checks the availability again, and if we hop in here now, we see that nothing comes back, which means that time slot is available. So in the format Vapi response, it says that time slot is available. You can proceed with booking, which is when our agent says, would you want us to book that for you? After we say yes, then that gets into the fourth execution. In the fourth execution, we follow a similar pattern. Vapi sends in a tool call message. We route that message by the tool call. We extract that function. The tool call in this case was book appointment, where we're going to set up another node, which is our create event Google Calendar node. We're going to make sure the correct credential is set up, event as the resource, create as the operation. Make sure you select the right calendar. For the start time, we're choosing the start time that we are requesting, which was 7 a.m. on the 16th. This function is adding an hour to that time. So we're booking an hour time slot just so the Google Calendar event knows, what time slot to book and for how long. So we're just adding an hour to that. Then we also added an additional field, which was description and summary. So for summary, we just did service call with the lead's lead's name. And for the description, we gave the service and the phone number, which if we hop into the Google Calendar, we select the appointment that we booked. This is the description, and then we see the summary at the bottom with the phone number. Once that's done, we have to actually we have to log the appointment. So we're going to go into an append row in Google Sheets node. We're going to pull in the information from the extract tool call. So if we were to go to schema here, we're going to close this extract tool call. We're going to pull in these arguments and update our Google Sheet node, which will look like this when we're done. We go to appointments. This is what it populates, so we know what appointments we have booked. And then the only thing we need to do, you guys pull all the args in from here for the functions, and then just create it at, you could just put $now to give it the current time. I just like this format the best. It's what works for me. Once that's done, we format another Vapi response. In this case, it'll say appointment has been booked successfully, which is what Vapi reads. And then it responds back to us saying, we need to now save all your information, which is what it does in the 5th execution. In the 5th execution, we follow the exact same pattern the whole time, except in the route tool node, we send it down to save lead, which we calculate a lead score based on a couple of arguments. Is it an emergency? Does it have a budget? Are there any competitors? Like, did you call anyone else? Or are you available this week? We score it out of 100. If you get a score of 50, you're considered qualified. If you're under 50, you're unqualified, which you'll get down here at the bottom. It says score as 75, which is qualified. We then send that up to our update lead Google Sheet node, which is going to be an update row in Sheet node. We make sure, again, your correct credentials set up. You select the right sheet. In this case, it's lead. So remember, we have 3 different sheets here. So now we're updating our lead sheet. This is what happens when it's done. But in this case, it would be not booked. It would be qualified. But since the call is done, we're on booked. Anyways, once that is done, we format another Vapi response saying lead information has been saved successfully, which is then when our agent starts to say, hey, do you have any other questions? And then ends the call. Now, once the call is ended, that kicks off our 6th and final execution, which is actually extracting the report data and finalizing our CRM. In our 4th and final execution, Vapi once again sends information to our webhook trigger. We then route the message type, and this time instead of tool calls, we send it to the end of call report branch, where we're going to extract the entire report data. So we're specifically looking for fields like phone, name, summary. We're going to pull the entire transcript of the call. We're going to grab the status now as booked, and then we're going to grab the score again just to confirm that it's right from the previous node. We're going to use this code node. It's quite a long one, but just copy and paste it over. It's all provided for you. Once that's done, we're going to log the entire call into our log call sheet. We're mapping out 4 fields: the name, phone, the outcome of the call, and a timestamp. So we'll be using an append row in sheet node using a Google Sheets like we did previously. Once that's done, we're going to update the lead sheet. So for the entire call. So now we're going to map all of the information like qualification score, call summary, transcript. So what we do here, we use another update row in sheet node where we're going to match on the phone number. So once again, that's why it's important to have that +1 in front of the phone number so we can match it directly. Otherwise, you'll get no output right here because it didn't find a field to match. Once we get that, we're going to pull all this information, not from the log call sheet, but from the extract report data node. And here we're going to map the status, qualification score, the call summary, and the transcript. You'll notice before we didn't map the qualification score. We're just going to do that in this node here. Makes it a lot easier. And then once that's done, we send out 2 emails. One is email the owner. So we're going to use a send message in Gmail node. I just used my email for both of these just for the demo, but we're going to use the subject as new qualified lead and adding the phone number in there, which we should have just added the actual name of the client and the phone number. So that's a mistake on my end, but it's all right. And then for the email type, we just used Claude Code to create an HTML email extracting all the information. And this is what that email looks like here, which is the owner email sending us the qualified lead score, the lead details, phone number, status of the call, and a call summary. And then we also send an email to the lead, which is kind of the same thing. Send a message in Gmail node, connect the correct credential. We have a subject that is simple now. It's Cool Air HVAC. Thank you for your interest. We use another HTML email type where we create a cool email using Claude Code. You could just ask Claude Code to do this based on the landing page that we created. So we wanted to keep everything consistent, which is this email, and it looks like this. So Cool Air HVAC Solutions. Hi, Mike Thompson. Thank you for choosing Cool Air HVAC Solutions. We just spoke on the phone and wanted to send you a quick recap. We have our appointment here, what to expect next. Provided the phone number again. It's pretty cool. It makes it super, super nice, make you look professional. That's why I went with the HTML instead of just basic text. Now, just because Claude Code can snap it up in a second. So that's the entire pipeline. One webhook, smart routing, tool response in under 100 milliseconds. The customer never noticed. Post-call pipeline, sending out emails, updating the sheets, all non-blocking after the call was already completed. We made sure to design this with 2 paths, one for a fast path when we're calling tools and one a slow path once the call is done, so we're not interrupting any of the conversation. So obviously we tested with the perfect scenario: hot lead, emergency, booked an appointment. But what if the lead is not a slam dunk? What happens next? And that's exactly what we're going to test right now. All right, for this example, I'm going to fill this out as someone who's just shopping around. They have no budget, no urgency. They've talked to a few other companies. Let's go ahead and see how this works out. So I've submitted the call. Let's wait for this call to come in. The call's coming in. Slide to answer.
Hey, Jacob King. This is Sarah, an AI agent calling from Cool Air HVAC Solutions. Looks like you filled out a form on our website about maintenance tune-up. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Perfect. I have a few quick questions to get a technician out to you. Can you provide the address where you need the service?
Yeah, 123 North Main Street, Indiana.
Got it. What type of AC system do you have?
It's a central AC.
Okay, perfect. Can you describe what's going on with it?
It's working fine. I'm just doing some research, looking to get a few quotes.
Got it. How long have you been planning to get the maintenance done?
Probably like a year now.
Okay. Have you reached out to any other companies about this?
Yeah, I've called 2 companies before. You guys.
Okay. Do you have a budget in mind? If not, the technician can give you an estimate on site.
No, I'm not sure yet. It just depends on what you guys charge.
No problem. When would work best for a technician to come out?
Maybe next month sometime. I'm not really in a rush.
Okay. What day next month works best for you?
Can we do the 1st of next month?
Sure. What time on Sunday, March 1st, works best for you? In the morning or in the afternoon?
Let's do like 7 a.m.
Let me check that time slot for you. Okay, 7 in the morning on Sunday. March 1st works. Do you want me to book that for you?
Yep, go ahead and book it.
Perfect. Let me get that booked for you right now. Just saving your information real quick. You're all set for Sunday, March 1st at 7 in the morning. A confirmation email is on the way to kakaruk@gmail.com. Thanks for choosing Cool Air HVAC Solutions. Have a great day.
You too.
Goodbye.
Now we just finished the call. Let's go look at the results and see what happened. All right, so hopping into our lead sheet, we see that everything got populated correctly. The status is booked. The qualification score is 0. We have the transcript in there. Let's see what the summary says. Booked, the address, central AC, duration about a year, budget not specified, contacted 2 other companies. The appointments are set. So we have these. We created it at February 15th, which is accurate. And this one's set for March 1st. 2026. Let's go hop into our calendar and see if that's accurate. We'll go to March 1st. And there it is. There's our appointment for our service call. We then have to check our call logs. So now we have Jacob King. This is the phone number. Booked is the outcome. So everything looks good. And then let's go check out the emails really quick. So this is the owner email that we got. We have a lead score of 0 out of 100. The appointment is booked already. Maybe we could add something in this agent that if it's a 0 qualification score, we just move on and we don't book them now and tell them to call us back when the time is right, instead of getting them in the calendar and needing to follow up, right? So that's something that we could add. This is the email that the customer got. So hi, Jacob King. Thanks for choosing Cool Air HVAC Solutions. We just spoke on the phone and wanted to send you a quick recap. The same email as before. And then we provided it with some information just on some follow-up calls. So we know that it worked. We know everything, the lead qualification was correct. Like I said, the only thing that I would change is potentially, if it's an unqualified lead, just asking it to reach out to us another time, or not actually booking it on the calendar and taking up a time slot. Either or, we'll figure it out. But I just wanted to show you guys that edge case as we wrap things up. Speaking on how to level up the system, you could add things like Twilio SMS messages. You could add after hours logic. So if someone fills out a form at 11 p.m., you can call them at 8 a.m. in the morning, or you can just have a 24/7 agent. Vapi supports multiple languages, so you could have your AI agent qualify leads in Spanish. You can use, of course, a much better scoring system than we used in this demo. You can use Claude to actually analyze the transcripts and provide a very nuanced qualification score. And then you can integrate this into your CRM. You can use HubSpot or Salesforce instead of just using Google Sheets. Close out, I want to send you away with the 3 biggest takeaways of this video. Number 1, speed to lead wins jobs. An AI agent calls your lead back in 10 seconds while your competitor is still managing their inbox. This is not a gimmick. This is a real competitive advantage. Number 2, the AI needs to sound human. Optimize your Vapi stack and your n8n integrations to make sure you minimize the dead air in the call. That's what kills the call. And number 3, the architecture of your build does not need to be complex. It needs to be simple enough to be quick enough so that your response times are fast and your agent is smooth. The more you overcomplicate it, the more dead time you have, the more latency, the more leads you'll lose. As always, if you've gotten any value from this video, drop a like, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a ton. I'm hoping to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the month. Leave a comment down below on what your biggest takeaway was from this video. I'll be dropping videos every single Tuesday and Friday. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, if you're still watching, something I like to do at the end of all my videos is pray for you guys, my audience, and I know this might make some of you uncomfortable, which is why I put it at the end of the video. So if you feel uncomfortable at this point, feel free to click off the video and I'll see you in the next one. Nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and pray for you guys and send you out with a blessing. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for the person on the other side of the screen. Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to serve and show people that they can build things that save them a lot of time. Lord, may you bless their business, bless their families, keep them safe. Lord, I pray that they build these tools that I'm providing for them to help them save time, to help them enjoy the work that they do. Lord, I pray for nothing but wisdom and strength for them as they run their business. Lord, I just pray that they have discernment for their customers and that they just serve them well, Lord, and continue to build your kingdom. I pray all these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Now go have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.